Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors in Winston-Chester. Glad to hear this morning. Got a big show lined up, but first, as always, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. The class is starting back this semester. It may not be too late to go check them out, so if you have opportunity, run do that. Our high today is 68, low 54, and water temperature is 64 degrees. So it looks like the rest of this week's going to be good. Maybe a little bit of rain this weekend, but hopefully, and prayerfully, we're asking for some nice weather as far as not rain, and it really needs to dry out. And we talk about that on a regular basis because that's what's going on. Take a look at our river readings brought to us by no one at this point in time. It'd be a good sponsorship for someone interested in doing that. We'll bring your name up every day. You can come on the show and all that. Our Pascola Bluntstown, it's up there. It's still up there, 21.5. And it's just not showing much. It's not going down much. It is flooded the last month. Choctaw Caryville, same way, 13.1. It's just staying up there. There's no dropping off on either one of those rivers, and it's really something. Tide chart, Kent Forest Lawn brings us this every morning, and we're looking at good tides today. We're looking at a low tide at 8:23 this morning, and a high tide at 10:01 tonight. Marine forecast become a little bit out of north at about north-northwest at about 9. All right, let's take our first break, and we'll be right back with you. Okay, welcome back. Let's start with a little text I got. Y'all been so good about staying in contact, and we had that little drive to help out the Sims nursing home there with the veterans, and we got a response from it. I just want to share this with you because you deserve the credit. Many thanks to you, Winston, for supporting the Christmas gift drive for the Sims Veteran Nursing Home. The response was great from those watching Panhandle Outdoors and helped bring much joy to our veterans residing there. A great community outreach from those who watch your program daily. So I just want to thank you, Carolyn, and everyone that there's so many people. I think Michael Harris with Seasons of Hope took some oatmeal pies. He sent me some pictures of different things he took over there. I got a kick out of it. So many of y'all took things over to the Sims Veteran Nursing Home, and what a well-deserved group right there. So, okay, I'm going to go try to let's get our pictures. I've got stuff. I told Jeff I got stuff sort of scattered out. So y'all bear with me. I still don't have internet service, so I'm not able to use my iPad. Pretty soon I'll hopefully get my iPad back, and pretty soon we'll go back to be more efficient is the word. All right, how about old Chris Rogers? Took a big old grin, that big old buck right there. And he shot it on his birthday. Good job, Chris Rogers, and he was tickled with that. All right, some big bucks were taken. Okay, let's see. Hey, Coach, we have been doing a little surf fishing this past week. Unfortunately, no pompano. My son and I caught a couple of slot reds, and the next day I caught another. Just random spots on the most beautiful beaches in the world. Can you put my name in the jar? Best regards, Jay Atkins out of Panama City Beach, and we sure will, Jay. And nice redfish there, and you can see that's surf fishing. Look here, see, people still hadn't forgotten how to surf fish, and there's Jay on a nice redfish. They're catching some redfish out of the surf, so be aware of that. That's right here at Panama City Beach. I thought this was funny, all the rain we've had the last month or so. I got my dog ready to go outside and play in the yard. He's got all his mask and snorkel and tank and all, and that's about how it's been for dogs and people. Brad Tillman, I thought it was his wife Nancy Andrews Tillman. Not his best buck, but his first deer hunting solo. So a trophy nonetheless. Years of watching and coaching goes into an independent sportsman. That's true now. He cleaned it too while I sat in my lawn chair, drank coffee and watched. That's Wesley there. There it is right there. So got it by himself and cleaned it by himself. So that's a monumental step for a young man to do that first one. Love this one. I'm going to read it to you. Teresa Register Roach, she sent this to Florida Panhandle Hunters. My very first deer. I'm 52 years old and returned to hunting 2 years ago after being away from it 33 years. Ladies, it's never too late. Young girls, you can do it too. Teresa, I'm just so impressed. Let me zoom in on that. Good job, Teresa. And I had a correspondence with her. I told her it was going to be on Panhandle Outdoors. She wanted to know what that was. And that's good. Here we are. Here's a throwback picture. Robin Bowen from his Old picture from 1960 at Panama City Beach. His grandparents floundering on the Panama City Beach. Isn't that cool? In the 1960s. Okay. This is Trent Steves with the Panama City Kayak Fishing Association. Remember, their meeting's a week from tonight, and he'll be there, I'm sure. Great day of trout fishing. A 21-incher hit as I was going home after a super hot incoming tide. Nice fish, nice picture. You see folks are catching fish now. And let's see, let me see, bounced around. Where are we, Jeff? Right here? Okay, okay. Let's end on that one right there. I do want to mention St. Vincent Island. I had some information. I'm gonna try to look it up on St. Vincent Island. It's fascinating what they're doing up there. The first 2 hunts were called off. Okay, of course, the October, November hunts were called off. But now the January hunt, which I believe I'll have to look it up during the break of what weekend it is, but they're going to go through with the January hunt. And by the way, with the government shutdown, you know the National Wildlife Refuges, they've shut down too, so they're not working. They're not. So the question is, can you still have access to St. Vincent Island just because people are not working there? And from what I can gather, you still have access. You can still go there. You have to be aware that no one's working there if you get in trouble or anything. And so, but I'll double check that. But that's my information I have received, that the wildlife refuges and national parks, as far as I know, are still open. Now those state parks and all, haven't been affected by it. But the national monuments and all, I don't know about other places, but St. Vincent Island supposedly is open. Okay. Also, we were down at the Cape. I wanted to show you about sand dunes. I got a kick out of this. We're driving out just around Mexico Beach, and at one time these were like 20-foot sand dunes. This is how much the sand dunes were wiped out. But I pulled off the side of the road to take a picture. Can you see these little sand dunes? They're forming back. See where that little clumps of grass? What you're seeing are little sand dunes starting to build back, especially if we get in a row like that. And Gail and I just got a kick out of it. And you can see, that was not as clear as the other one, but you can see this is right here. See that little clump of grass? A little bit of CO2 popping back up, and that's going to be a sand dune right there. And that sand's going to go back and forth. Funny thing about that sand, those grains of sand, they're going to come in and hang there a little bit, then going to blow back off and come back on, and then cling to something next time. So they go back and forth. And it takes, I looked up last night, I was going to try to give you all some information on how long it takes a sand dune to form. And I got all kind of crazy answers from 5, 10 years to 100 years. So I think it's according to where the location is and what direction the sand is blowing and all that. So I'm figuring, here's my personal opinion, and I'm no expert, but I did slip in Holiday Inn a couple years ago. I think those sand dunes start building back about 6 foot high within a couple of years. I really do. In a couple of years, I think once they get clumped up and all, they're going to blow in there. Plus, we're going to have some beach renourishment coming. So anyway, let's take our break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I did find information during the break. Take a look at this, the refuge status on St. Vincent, just what I said, but the last sentence down here, the January the 17th through 19th, muzzleloader hunt will be held. The other two have been canceled for the sandbar deer and all, so be aware of that, and that's going to be good right there. So anyway, and let me know if any of y'all are going on that. I would love to go, but I can't go this year because of all the stuff we're having to do with how everybody's sort of tied up. But let me know if you're going. I'd love to get some. And here's the thing about a shutdown. Shutdown notice. The website will not be. They're not going to update the website. Okay, right there. Any entry onto refuge system property during the period of federal government shutdown is at the visitor's sole risk. So you can read about the message on their closure during the shutdown, or you can call about it. So it didn't say you couldn't enter, but you got to enter at your own risk. So be aware of that. I got a kick out of, that's like the old days. We used to just go over there and didn't ask anybody. I mean, we just went over there. I want to share. I took a Saturday, went up to the woods. Well, let's see. Let's show this where we busted up. I've got so much. We're gonna run out of time. Captain Tim Brock. And 8.5 days it took them to bust up the, he's with towboat, and it took them to bust up the Fishing Express. So here's the picture of it. Okay, it's day one, and then just start taking apart, take the rails apart. This is how you dismantle a huge boat, and they're paid to do this, and just break it up like that. And I just go through the series, keep busting it up, and you see what it's down to now. 8 days they took, just 3 of them took apart this whole boat. And down to here, and you can see down to the last segment. Of course, they had some good excavator, and there it is, a blank lot. Okay. Now I took here's a group of pictures. These are my buddies up in Quincy, Florida, taking all their kids out in the woods. Now, they're not a great picture of the young people, the Super family, and all of them taking kids out into the woods and having a great time. They harvested a buck, and there's several generations of families right there. Okay. Okay, right here. Hey, Winston, I just wanted to share some pictures of my daughter Addie's first deer. She's a 6th grader at Walton Middle School in the Phoenix Springs, and she and her daddy went Saturday morning and each got one from the same stand. It was a special morning for both of them. Leanne Engel. And check out this picture. Is that not beautiful? Look at that. That's a nice buck, too. Congratulations, Addie, and that's something to be very, very proud of, and you'll get that picture and get it framed up. I know your mom is going to do that. Okay, I'm at a point where I've got some other things too. I did also, I walked in the woods. Maybe I can show some of this. I want to show you, walked in the woods Saturday, and I just want to show you my deer stands. And here's one of my deer stands. This is from the hurricane. Notice my chair. My chair is still in there. Here's another angle. They said it's bent up and everything, and it wasn't that ugly to do that in my tree stand. And that was a good. And how did it blow off? I mean, how did it blow over? Because I didn't have anything on it. It just blew over like that. So anyway, and just all the trees down. I could take a million pictures of these, and they all had the same thing. And I thought this was cool. Look how that was split the oak tree right there. Isn't that cool? And the oak tree still standing. And here's my other stand. Look, that's my original stand I had. That was a big, look how that, it fell from our left to our right. That was a good stand. It's an old wooden stand, but it was a fine stand. I saw some nice deer out of that. So I'm not going to try to get that one back up. We're going to not be able to get that one. Here's just another picture of it. A little bit close up. That was well built. I put a lot of time building that. Had fun, had some help doing it. Had fun building it. Okay. And I had 2 or 3 other stands too. I was trying to cut away to my campsite, so I cut this tree down, and look at, I don't know what that is. If y'all know what that is, let me know. I cut this big old pine tree on the way to the road into my campsite, and I don't know what those blue marks are. I should, but I don't know. So let me know if you know about what they are. I was really, really surprised about it. And anyway, that's hard to do when I'm out there working by myself. That's just hard stuff to do. And again, I tell you all, and I'm the world's worst about going off by yourself, and especially now, walking over things. I fell a couple of times. I've been in pretty good shape, but you got vines that grab your feet, and then you got limbs you try to duck under, then another one. It's just, and it's on property, it's my property. I know what to expect. But anyway, just be careful out there and have your cell phone with you and stay in contact with someone anyway. All right, let's take our final break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at Fishing Game Time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers, 1:33 a.m. to 3:33, and this afternoon after lunch, 1:56 to 3:56, and the tides have been extremely low in the wintertime, so be aware of that. Now, we're going to do something that we don't normally do on Panhandle Outdoors. We're going to show a video again. And we'll do it, of course, during the highlights and all, we do that, but we don't usually repeat stuff. Everything we bring you is fresh and something we've done recently. This situation here, we got caught up in the storm. We went to Seopa, had his keynote speaker. I interviewed him after this talk, and then I couldn't show it after that because of the hurricane coming, and so then we were off air. Then we came back on, so I decided to show it. The last viewing of how to close out 2018 was this particular video. So I showed it on December 24th, and I got some feedback on it. Some folks really nice about how much they enjoyed us ending the year on that positive note with that interview with this young man. It's Colonel Greg Gatson, and he was serving in Iraq, and he was our keynote speaker, and it was so interesting when he gave us a keynote talk at Seopa conference up in South Carolina. When he finished talking, all of a sudden he just got a spontaneous standing ovation. and he had what happened. He was a full colonel. And he was just a great guy. He ended up he got ran over IED and it exploded, and he suffered some severe consequences. But his attitude now is it shows you the American spirit. That what keeps us, our freedom, what keeps us going. Also shows his love, newfound or refound love for the outdoors. He always loved outdoors. He tied in outdoors, his faith and his love for the country, and he tied it in. I just saw it so strong. And then when I got the feedback from you different folks, I appreciate you talking about it. So I told Jeff, I said, let's show this again in case a lot of people got busy around December 24th and maybe didn't get to see the show. So even if you've seen this before, I think it's worth seeing again, and try to record it and let your kids take it to school and show it to some of their teachers and all. All right, Jeff, let's roll it. All right, folks, today here with Colonel Greg Gadsden from the U.S. Army. Greg, I heard you speak today at our keynote speaker, and your story just floored us, and what an amazing testimonial you have. And I've asked you to share this with our Panhandle Outdoor viewers. So, if you would, just sort of tell us your story, okay, man?
Well, thank you, Winston, and I appreciate the opportunity to share it with you. Well, first of all, as you know, I said this afternoon, my story is really about my team. I was privileged to lead soldiers in the combat, and ultimately those soldiers saved my life. On May 7, 2007, I was wounded after attending a memorial service, ironically, for Specialist Armando Pineda and First Lieutenant Ryan Jones. My vehicle was hit by an improvised explosive device, or IED, and the blast ejected me from the vehicle, where I came to a rolling stop on my back. I was fortunate that men like First Sergeant Frederick Johnson, the senior non-commissioned officer in my patrol, was the first to locate me, and he began to resuscitate me, and a young man, Private Eric Brown, would put the tourniquets on my legs back to the doctor, saved my life. Now, what I omitted this afternoon was that, just to give you a sense of my wounds, is that in the first 4 to 6 hours after I was wounded, I went through 129 units of blood. To give you a perspective of how dangerous Iraq was in May of 2007, 131 U.S. service members paid with their lives in the month of May 2007 alone. So it was a very dangerous situation. Ultimately, I was evacuated, and I got to Walter Reed Army Medical Center in Washington, D.C. on the 11th of May. And over the next 2 weeks, I would lose my legs. The doctors had to take my left leg to save my life on the 18th of May, and I made the decision for them to amputate my right leg. But what is, I think, most relevant for you in this forum is really the first time that I left Walter Reed, barely 3 months after I was wounded, was a trip to Vail, Colorado, sponsored by the Vail Veterans Program. And it was that experience of being in the outdoors that really changed my life. It fundamentally gave me an opportunity to be outside and really understand that although my life had changed, I could still do everything that I wanted to do in life. I just had to realize that I had to do it differently. And on that trip alone, I was able to ride a horse, Western saddle, whitewater raft with my family. I did some fly fishing, and really, what it really underscored was the capability of my capabilities. And I'm just grateful that we have an outdoors, that we have an environment where someone like me can recalibrate themselves, can come to peace with our injuries, and a safe setting and a surrounding that means you no harm.
Colonel, you mentioned today that when the blast occurred and you landed out there before you lost consciousness, you said, what about, you asked
Yes.
God, you said, you asked God what?
Yes, I'm here today. What I didn't start out with is that I'm here because of my Lord and Savior. And when I was landing on that ground, the last thing I said before I lost consciousness was, God, I don't want to die here in this country. That was my abbreviated prayer. And I appreciate you asking me that, Winston, because I thank God that I had a relationship with God, and then I knew to call on God at that moment, because I might not be here if I didn't.
That's awesome. And now today, you were telling me that you still enjoy outdoors. Has been your faith in outdoors has been your savior, I guess.
Yep.
And you what are some outdoor things you do now?
Well, I've been blessed, even in the last couple of months. I've jumped out of an airplane out in Wyoming with the out in Wyoming. I've done some shooting. I shot a trap out of a motorcycle sidecar. I swam with dove with some whale sharks in the Georgia aquarium, and so. Again, life has its challenges, but I just really want to take advantage of what our environment has, and the outdoors is a great part of it.
Well, that's awesome. And today, when you gave that talk, and we had a room full of 200-something outdoor people and all, at the end of your talk, you just got a spontaneous standing ovation. And that's the appreciation we have for you. And on behalf of our viewers at Panhandle Outdoors and me and my family, we want to thank you for the service you gave America and the wonderful attitude that you have now.
Well, thank you, Winston. I appreciate the opportunity to again, share my story. I appreciate your patriotism. You guys are really the stewards and the folks that keep our conscience straight on and making sure that other generations can enjoy what we enjoy.
Well, thank you, sir.
Absolutely, sir.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.